I was like, went to hear him preach. It just drew me in, man, because he got a straightforward directness and no filter. And you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, like it's the delivery, like
it's not all fluffy and all
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna have you got your name.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna transition to what was that next moment where he's like, okay, I done had enough fun, I done party, I did all of this. Now let me live a more meaningful, purposeful life.
Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, the trendsetter, that was just me and John, like trying to figure out like adding something to our name and make it look more heroic or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I remember John name used to be DJ Jedi.
So y'all were in Philly together too?
No.
Okay.
I came up with Sense in high school.
Okay.
I didn't come up with Trendsetter until I was in college.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to explain that.
Okay.
So I was just Sense all through high school. And then Trendsetter came up like
you got to Atlanta.
Yeah.
No doubt. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So now you've partied, you know what I'm saying, had all the fun, and now you're like, let me live a more meaningful, purposeful life. Like, what was that moment?
Well, it didn't happen like that. But I'll tell you, so it happened when I was working with Lil Jon, and I was doing a lot of praying, because I was doing a lot of traveling, spent a lot of time on planes overseas, a lot of times alone.
That's what I was about to say. A lot of people don't know when you're doing a lot of traveling, you're really alone a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So it's a solo journey.
Yeah.
And you're in a lot of different countries, a lot of different cultures every week. Mm-hmm. So I was doing a lot of praying because I knew I was at a pivotal point in my life. And one time I was flying over the Atlantic to France, and I just was asking God, like, what is it that you want me to do? Like, what am I supposed to do? Where do you want me to be? Because I just felt very, very vulnerable. And the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, you're only going to do Lil Jon for 2 years. And once you're done, I'm going to pull you out. And you're going to do work for the kingdom. And you're going to do it. I need you to learn everything that you're learning right now. I mean, these are like specific words.
While you're on the plane?
I'm on the plane. I'm on the plane, bro. Like, and learn everything. Learn how to move globally. Learn how to deal with people and, soak in everything. In 2 years, I'm taking you out. Let me tell you how crazy this is. And I've told this story before. My first weekend with Lil Jon was Memorial Weekend 2016. My last weekend with Lil Jon was Memorial Weekend 2018 to the day.
Wow.
To the day.
Wow.
And then the week I knew was my last week, though. The guy spoke to me and said, this your last week. And then the next day I had a meeting with them, and it was like, yo, we just gonna mutually part ways. That's still family. But just on the business side, like, it was like, yo, we just gonna, and I was like, okay. I wasn't even, because he told me, he's like, this your last week. 2 days later,
he's done.
Done.
Wow.
So then after that, that's when I hit like a low moment. I hit a Job moment, like from the Bible, where Job was a very powerful man, he was well respected, had everything, land, wisdom, family, everything, and then lost everything. He was being tested. And the enemy came and said, he told God, he said, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just roaming here and fro. And he said, have you heard of my good servant Job? And the enemy said, yeah, but if I take some things away from you, he won't serve you the way you think he will. So God allowed him. He said, go ahead, but you can't kill him. And so he ended up getting sick. His friends started telling him, oh man, you Miles, man, God ain't rocking with you, man. You Miles will curse God and just it is what it is.
Curse God and die.
Yep, curse God and die. And lost his children. Wife like, yo, it's over. Everybody. He kept giving God all the praise, through leprosy never seen. Lost all his wealth, and everybody stopped respecting him, everything, right? And through that whole time, he kept his faith strong through that low moment. And then what happened was God showed him in a dream what everything was all about. And then he ended up blessing him 10 times over. New family, more land, the respect I hired, and everything returned to him. But he went through that Job moment. So that's what I went through. Not to the level of Job, but personally for Brandon Douglas, I went through a transfer sense of people that don't know. I went through a Job moment after I stopped working with John, and I saved up money, but that's all I was living on. And then I had like this nice little condo, I had this nice car. God told me, "You're losing all of that.
Wow.
You're losing all of it." Me still not listening, trying to move the way I thought things were supposed to be, and I ended up losing the house. That was the first thing that went. Ooh, that house, man, I love that. Ooh, you know that thing you want to hold? Man, I had the white marble floors, the bottom of the ceiling. I was in right by Little 5 Points.
Oh,
I had
okay.
like this little condo, man. It was in the cut. Couldn't nobody find me. Like I was in the cut, swimming pool, everything. You know, I was in like a little bachelor worldly mode. You know, especially moving around, traveling around. I was what I thought was living a life, and then lost that. Got into a relationship I wasn't supposed to get into.
I know about that.
Yeah, and ended up kind of moving into that situation. That wasn't good. But then it was that moment I was like, man, this ain't right, man. Still had the car though, still holding on to the car. Still holding on to the car, like, you know what I mean? Not making the same money I was making. That car note didn't change. You get what I'm saying? And struggling through that, and it was funny. Then COVID hit, and you know, then the DJ game really got funny. And then, like, man, I had to take like warehouse jobs and stuff. Yeah, I had to take like warehouse jobs and all that, and nobody knew that. And you know, I'm up in the warehouse, people like, hey, you DJ something? Wow, rap. But I was in such a low moment, like it didn't, like I had to, like it didn't, like, dang, it didn't matter. Like
I gotta eat.
Yeah, I couldn't care what people thought.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
And swallow your pride sometimes, like, give you some cards where you have to do that.
Super low moment. But I was in such a focused mode of survival, I didn't even care what people thought. When you in survival mode, I don't even care what your opinion is of me at this point, bro. Because I just know I gotta make it through the day. I didn't even care what people thought. You know what I mean? And then so I was doing that, and then while I was in that mode, I was caught up. That's when I really dove into the Bible real crazy, man. I said, man, I'm about to just dive into scriptures, man. I'm about to just read the Bible like a textbook. Man, I started reading the Bible like from Genesis all the way to Revelation, bro. I said, man, I'm gonna do it. Cause I kept having it on my spirit. I said, I can't be moving and believing and having this faith, and I ain't even read the book the way I'm supposed to read to understand and discern properly. So I had nothing else to do. I just nerded out and read the book every day, every single day. And one time, and I always share this story, I was reading in Exodus, and I had a divine encounter. And I asked God, I said, please, Lord, please, I don't want to feel like it's a fairy tale or this fake, or, you know, it's a myth. You know, and I started yelling out the window, like loud, like, you know, somebody in the neighborhood could have heard me. I was like, Lord, please show me this not fake. Please show me this is like not a fairy tale, please. And I started praying like a prophet would, like, you know, my God of Israel, Lord of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, like real authoritative. Like, please show me this is not a myth. Bro, it was like a clear blue sky, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, no chance of weather, no chance of rain, anything. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, no clouds. This thunderous energy just come from the sky. Boom! And scared me, bro. Like 10, 20 feet from me. Knocked the branches down. It was to my left. Knocked the branches down for the tree. Bro, I never felt a force that powerful, that close to me ever in my life, bro.
That's when you know.
Scared me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yo, like I'm never gonna forget that for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Man, my heart was jumping. I was like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa, this is real. And that was crazy. I'm still thinking about it. I'm just thinking about it, bro. And that's when I really started diving really even more. Like, all right, I'm really committed to finishing the book and discerning and studying. And I just became like a real nerd. And it's funny because now, like as I walk now, like certain scriptures and moments will just pop on my head now, and I don't even have to like refer to like, let me go to, you know what I mean? But I'm still a learner. Like nobody's ever finished. But it's just funny, like when you just keep going and going and going. But as I started doing that, then my Job moment wasn't finished. Like the part.
What, 2020?
This is 2020, up. Yep.
Yeah, I went through something crazy around that time too, from 19 to like 20.
Crazy.
21.
Yeah,
crazy.
crazy.
Challenging time for a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, man. And and like even the apartment that I was in at the time, I moved out of the apartment. I moved out of the house when I was in that relationship. Had to downgrade into this other apartment. Had a rat in the wall, man. Like I was like a king from Coming to America.
But you still had the whip though, right?
The whip was gone. I had to let the whip go.
You couldn't afford it no more.
I couldn't afford it no more, and it was breaking down on me so much, like just weird stuff. Man, I broke down on 85 one time, man. Like, oh, you talking about? And I had the matte black Jeep with the 22s. Man, I was in the middle of 85, bro. During rush hour.
Wow.
Bro, right there by like just past University Avenue, heading up north.
Bro, car just cut off.
It just said.
So you didn't have time to get over. You literally
in the middle.
Wow.
You talk.
Wow.
And my car is easy. It was easy to spot. Like it's easy. Yeah. Then luckily a policeman came. He was like, "Yo, what's wrong?" I said, "Man." He's like, "All right, put it in neutral." And we kind of like pushed it over to the side. As soon as I got to the side, I was like, "Man, let me give it one more try." Cause where I used to live was like right near that exit.
Mm-hmm.
Cut it on that one time. It just came on. I was like, "Ooh, man, I got home so quick." But then that's when I realized, man, I was like, "Oh, that's it."
Yeah.
All right, you got it. I tried to fix it with the little paychecks I was getting.
But those cars, it would be a sensor or something like that cost like $2,000-$3,000. You'd be like,
it ended up being like $10,000.
That's what I'm saying.
And I was like, it's over.
Yeah.
And then I got rid of that, and then I ended up downgrading and then just getting a car that's just an everyday reliable car. But see, the Jeep has so much value to it.
It's status. Yeah.
And the CarMax, man, I didn't even have to do a down payment because it still had value to it.
Yeah.
So I just swapped out with and got a steady car.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day I met my wife.
Wow.
The next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, sometimes you have these low moments like that. Yeah. You know, that's the storm before that rainbow.
Yeah.
You know, that's the breaking point. If you could just hold on, break through this. Whew, boom.
Endurance, boy.
I call it the other side of pain.
The other side of pain.
You gotta get to the other side of pain.
Killed it.
You know what I'm saying? Once you get to the other side of pain, there's a breakthrough.
Yeah.
So now, you know, you go through all of that.
Yeah.
And then you say, so, no more gangster grills.
I walked away from that in like 19.
Yeah,
once I started doing the John thing.
Yeah, you was done with that.
Yeah, I was.
So why not try to go back and get another gig? Why not go back and DJ in the clubs? You know what I'm saying? I know it was like 2020 was when everybody was. So you were doing that too.
I was doing
along with working in the warehouse.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
So it wasn't no real bread in DJing those.
I was doing both. I was trying to make as much as I could.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like working the warehouse of the day.
DJ at night. Wow. So then what was like the turning point? What made you say, I'm gonna forego all of this, the DJing in the clubs. Now let me focus on the Christian hip hop.
It because I kept being called to do something in like ministry based.
Okay. So you were going to church at this time or?
Not necessarily going to church. I just always had a spirit filled, biblically led life. I would go to church that I would go. Like I was going and I became a member.
Mm-hmm.
I became a member right before I started at Antioch Baptist Church North. I became a member. And then as soon as I became a member, I went through the classes, did everything, became a member, going every Sunday. I went on the road with John. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it decreased.
You had that 2-year period where no church, you traveled.
No church. But prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer. Yeah, no church.
That's the difference though. It's the difference between
just
you praying by yourself and you fellowshipping with yourself.
Yeah, fellowship. Yeah.
It's a difference.
Yeah, and
a whole different form of energy.
Yeah. Once I did the road,
mm-hmm.
It was wasn't none of that. And so when I was in the moment, met my wife, and still was in a low moment, and then that rat was in my wall, man. The rat was eating the chocolate out of my kitchen, bro. And I'm calling my landlord. I heard this rat is scratching. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, you gotta be kidding me. And I called my landlord. I'm like, bro, it's a rat. And he was kind of like slumlording me, And he was like, oh man, it ain't a rat. This is a cinder block. This is cement building. Bro, it's a rat. You get what I'm saying? Finally find out. He's gonna show me the picture. He finally got it. Oh yeah, well, it's a field mouse. Bro, it's a rat. So, but then he was like, man, I got a better apartment for you, man. So then I moved into this better apartment. Well, I thought it was better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when me and my wife getting closer. I wouldn't invite her to that
apartment.
Oh, she, wow. Yeah, so I finally invited her. She helped me move into the new one, right? But I wouldn't let her see the other one. So that's when we just started getting closer. Like she was helping me with the furniture and stuff. I'm like, man, this girl really care about me. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. And long story short, she started noticing I would cough all the time. Mm-hmm. And she was like, why are you always coughing? Like, because I would end up staying at her place. Mm-hmm. And long story short, I was doing an event. It was still DJing. I was doing an event. It was real cold night around Christmas time. And my landlord called me the next morning, like, you been in the house? I said, no. He said, you need to come to the apartment. So my wife and I go over there. Flooded out. Everything done.
Wow. So
I'm like, man, boy, this is really hitting low. This is low, boy. So anyway, my wife was like, that's cool. I'm gonna call my mom and my stepdad. This is what they do. My father-in-law, he runs apartments, and so they understood the maintenance and stuff. So they helped me like clean up the whole thing. But then we found mold.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, that's why I was coughing.
Yeah.
So we found the mold and got out of there. Long story short, and started just being with my wife, my fiance, and that's when I was like, all right. My mother-in-law was like, you're supposed to be doing some ministry. You're supposed to be doing something in ministry, and that's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna just do it. So my wife and I sat down and had lunch with my in-laws, and they were showing me how to do a nonprofit and stuff like that, and how to build ministry stuff. And then I was doing that, and that's when I decided, it was like the spirit hit me. It was like, no, do what you always been doing. Do a radio show. Move. Still be in hip hop, but you gonna do it on some Kingdom. And I put together like an air check, and
now what's an air check for those?
It's like a demo tape for a radio show. And then I started learning all the Christian hip hop artists because I was like, I don't want to use the music of the vibration. The vibration, I was like, I need to change the vibration. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand that like music is a universal language. You know what I mean? So the vibration was, and you know, you see people moving and crashing out and violence and fornication and da. And I ain't trying to be on no preachy stuff, but it's a lot going on right now. You get what I'm saying?
Come on.
Like it's a lot of like artists dying and all kinds of stuff. And okay, artists, what's the artist connected to? Music. So I'm thinking about the vibration.
So it's a spirit in that music.
It's a spirit in that music. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, I'm a moving kingdom, but you know, I'm of hip hop culture, but I gotta use this tool properly. You get what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm putting it together and I'm hearing the music and I'm learning the artists. I'm like, yo, these artists dope. Yo, these beats, fuck, yo, these sound better than the other artists. I'm just keeping it real. So I put the project together. I hit my man who works at the radio station. He's like, yo. So
Now, which radio station is this?
Hot 179, Radio 1. And he was real busy, so I couldn't get to him. So one day I pull up, I'm just going to randomly eating at a restaurant. This is like a week later. He just walk in. He like, bruh, oh, this guy. He like, what's up, what you trying to tell me about? I was like, yo, I'm telling the same story I'm sitting here telling you to this day. And he's like, man, he didn't know I went through all that. And I'm like, yo, well, here goes the air check. What you think? He's like, man, I'm gonna make it happen. Called the program director. And the next day he was like, yo, program director said, call him. Devin Steele said, call him. I called Devin Steele. He's like, yo, this is crazy. Yo, come into the station. I'm like, all right. I come to the station. Like, yo, I need 3 more. I'm like, all right. A week later, got your 3. Come into the station. All right. I will come in. Like, yo, you start June 9th. This is crazy.
That fast. Wow.
And like June 9th, 24, my first show. And it just started going crazy. And then like people started pulling up. I started like Bum B hit me. It's like, yo, I love what you're doing, man. Like, I love how you sending out this message and everything. I'm like, oh, the OG hit me. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, and then Tip pulled up. I was like, oh, I'll come down and sit with you. Tip one of the first people to pull up. Feel me? Because he had that song with Kirk Franklin, him and Dro. They pulled up. And then some of the artists in the Christian hip hop space, they started pulling up. And Kirk Franklin pulled up. Yolanda Adams.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm sitting
now
here.
you're getting all the A-list gospel.
Yeah, Chili from TLC. You know, because she's a God-fearing woman. She got a whole Christian line. Yeah. The way that Kirk Franklin happened, like that thing happened like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I saw his manager was following me when I started doing the show. I was like, oh, somebody hit me like, oh, you know, it's Kirk Franklin manager following you on his brand. I was like, oh, okay. So I saw he was in town for that reunion tour when he was putting the reunion tour together at the State Farm. Yolanda Adams' label hit me. She's on the same tour. Yolanda Adams' label hit me and said, yo, we want Yolanda to come to your show. I'm like, what? You hear what I'm saying? So then I was like, oh, this is crazy. So I was like, oh, she here with Kurt. I knew a couple people that knew Kurt. So I hit some mutual people. They put me straight on the group chat with Kurt manager, but he knew me from it. And I was like, oh, I knew that was him, but I didn't know him. He was like, sis, we'd love to be there. We'll be there tomorrow morning. What time? I'm like, what?
Wow.
So that one day, I had Yolanda Adams and Kirk the same day pulling up. And it's a hip hop platform on Hot 179, a mainstream hip hop station. You get what I'm saying? And I'm having this conversation, and I'm talking to Kirk like, yo, what was it like, you know, you did that song with Glorilla, you know what I mean? And we was talking about that, and Yolanda, crazy. And like I said, Chili Tip pulled up. I can't even remember all the people. There's so many. So then now I had shout out Lecrae, he done pulled up. So, you know, it just started waving. And then Rolling Loud reached out to me. They saw what I was doing. Shout out my man Troy Gunn and DJ Far Venom. It was like, yo, we want you to do your set of everything you highlighting on your show. We want you to bring through a set in Miami at Rolling Loud. So I went, yeah. So I went and called, I went and got in touch with 6 of the artists that were doing the thing that I was playing, and I brought them to Miami. And we killed it, and it just changed waves. And these kids were coming to see a totally different level of artist. They didn't even know, but then I'm bringing these kids out, and it just buzzed up crazy.
Wow. Now, when did you do Rolling Loud? What year was this?
24, just
That was
past
last year.
just past December.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
show not even a year old. It'll be a year old. Birthday bash weekend in Atlanta, and that's why we decided to do the. Say what?
Right.
I was just gonna keep it moving, but okay.
Wow. So that's dope, man. So you got this concert coming up,
Yes,
Christian hip hop.
yes.
Who are the artists? What inspired it? Like, what's the why? And you know what I mean?
So with the with this concert, it was just really continuing, man. It's a whole situation where it's beyond the music, man. It's a I call it's a revival. And ever since the Chosen Journey brand has started, there's been a lot of lost souls that have been getting filled up. I got people from prison that call me, people that DM me, and like that are doing 20 plus years in prison that are like, yo, I tuned in to your show. That's how I receive my discipleship, how I receive my food. So it's beyond that, and that was the whole importance of why we did Rolling Loud. Shout out Rodney Jerkins, who I curated the event with, the DJ Five Venoms and my man Troy Gunn. He has Aliens Alive, which is a Christian hip hop label that he got going on, and 3 of the artists are signed to him. So it came to me where the venue reached out to me. Shout out my man Muddy Waters, Richard Dunn.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, we want you to do what you did in Miami. Let's do it in Atlanta.
Center stage.
Center stage.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, well, let me do it. And then I didn't know when. I was like, when should I do it? And then I saw a birthday bash weekend was going on, and there was a couple little rumblings that they wanted to do other events around the birthday bash weekend. I was like, well, let me just attach it to birthday bash weekend.
Mhm.
So the same light can see what's going on in this space. But like I said, it's a revival. And what's been happening in the last year is a lot of people that's been walking and moving and understanding that the church is beyond the walls, and it's not no corny stuff. It's just authentic food. You get what I'm saying? A roadmap for eternity. You get what I'm saying? To understand why we're here, what your purpose is for. You get what I'm saying? And I decided to get 10 of the hottest artists that I'm supporting and that I play on the show. And in addition, that's what Sirius XM hit me up, Hip Hop Nation, and now the show is on Hip Hop Nation every Sunday on Sirius XM nationally. And that's when the buzz just started, nationally started really going crazy. And you know, June 22nd is going down, man. It's a revival. We're gonna have prayer booths. I got pastors. We're gonna be praying. We're gonna be touching souls, but we're gonna worship, and we also gonna enjoy quality music as well. So I got No Big Deal, Miles Minnick, John Keefe, Swayze, Keon Boone, Child Like CeCe, Anike, What Up RG, 1K Few, Aaron Cole, and many more, man. And you know, yours truly, Trendsetter Sense. I got some supportive ambassadors. Shout out my man B Chris. Shout out my man Nico. It's gonna go with my OG Eddie Velez. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Dwight Stone. He gonna do a special set. And shout out my man Lakeem, who was very instrumental in putting things together. My man Troy Dunn and Richard Dunn, and my wife G Money, because she don't want me to probably say her name on the camera. She's behind the scenes, and it's going down June 22nd, man. The Chosen Journey. Yes, sir.
Is that a Sunday or is that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
7 o'clock. Tickets, centerstage-atlanta.com. You can also go, if you're local and you're in Atlanta, you can just go up to the box office. You know, it's a little cheat code. You could waive all the little extra Ticketmaster fees and all of that. And, but yeah, centerstage-atlanta.com.
Man, I just want to say, you know, thank you for bringing attention to this type of music. You know, music that has meaning, that has substance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's really touching people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we need that right now. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to say thank you for doing that. And I know you found your niche.
Thank
You
you,
know what I
man.
mean?
Thank you.
You know, you, this is your purpose. And, you know, sometimes we go through things and we're like, man, I don't know, like, I'm being a good person. I ain't trying to harm nobody, but what, you know, why me? I'm over here chilling. I'm in the cut.
Right.
But those moments come to build you.
Yeah.
To grow you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A diamond is a piece of coal that's under severe pressure. So you're not going to become that diamond until that pressure hits you. So I always say you got to embrace the pain. Lean into it and say, God, what did this situation come to teach me? When did it come to lead me? You know what I'm saying? So I want to salute you for that, bro.
Salute you, man. Those words are powerful.
Yeah, definitely, man. Rolling Out. Let us know how Rolling Out can support it.
Absolutely, man. Man, y'all in the building. We got y'all on the flyer and everything. Yeah. So, shout out to Munson. Yeah, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Any other closing words? Instagram?
Yeah. At Chosen Journey Show, IG, at Trendsetter Sense, IG. Every Sunday. We call it Chosen Journey Sundays, man. Atlanta, Hot 179, 8 to 10. Hotspot ATL.com. Chosen Journey, also Hip Hop Nation, Sirius XM, 10 to 12 every Sunday, man. We going crazy. And we got the Chosen Journey merch. Can I pray with you? TrendsetterSense.com. We on deck. Let's get it.
No doubt. Good. We're going to do
That was lengthy.
Huh? Yeah. You unpacked a lot. You had a lot to say. But let's do we can do a standing up. A drop for Fresh Fridays.
Yes.
And then we need a photo. So you get, well, we can do a sit down.
You want me to do, man?
Yeah, we do a sit down. That's cool.
How long was it?
How long was what?
The interview? An hour?
About 40-something minutes. About 40-something. All right, your name.
Yeah.
You're checking out Fresh Fridays.
Yeah.
Rolling Out.
Okay, ready?
All right, 3, 2, 1.
You know what it is, man. Your boy Trendsetter Sense, and you checking out Fresh Fridays on RollingOut.com.
No doubt. All right, let's get a photo.
You want to use a camera?
Yeah.
Yo, bro, that was a fire interview, man.
Hey, thanks, man.
Especially like you going off the dome with it, bro.
Hey, I feel the energy of the person, and I just